Fallout Equestria the Chrysalis, Chapter 25, Part 2. I gave a weak chuckle as well, stepping in and turning to shut the door behind me. The moment I did so, Starlight pressed against me, sending me staggering and falling onto the couch. She was above me in an instant, giggling, then lowered her head to nuzzle firmly against my chest.
So fluffy. This look does have its advantages,
I said, raising a hoof to rub at her shoulder.
though it may be a bit too warm for the current weather. Well, let's get you some love before you overheat,
She said, smirking as she slid up, her mouth meeting mine again. Her hooves gripped at my side, her breath quickening as her body pressed and rubbed against mine. It was exciting, exhilarating, and it took a force of will to press my hoof against her chest, gently pressing her back a bit. She drew her head back, blinking in confusion. That confusion immediately turned to concern as she saw the fear that had overtaken my expression.
Whisper? What's wrong? I think there's something wrong with me.
I said, slowly shaking my head.
I can barely feed. It's there, I can't get at it.
I shook my head, swallowing.
I've been getting flashes of memories that make no sense, and I can't even tell they're wrong, except they contradict everything else I remember. And then just a few minutes ago, I must have zoned out. I was watching a couple of ponies, and I didn't even realize they left until they were out of sight. I don't even remember the time passing. Whoa, easy.
Starlight said, her hooves gripping at my shoulders. I was shivering.
Take it easy. Maybe we should get you to the clinic? You've taken a lot of blows to the head. Maybe you've got a concussion. That would explain things, right?
The shivering stopped as I looked wide-eyed up at her.
I have? The blows to the head, I mean? A bit more than I'd like, yeah.
She said, giving an awkward smile.
Heck, last time you kinda got...
She trailed off, blinking, and a weight dropped in my gut.
Were you about to say blown up? Yeah.
She said, sitting back and staring off into space.
I don't know why. You couldn't have been blown up. I mean, I know you play with explosives a lot, but...
She blinked again.
Wait a minute. When the hell did you get explosives? We found them.
I replied automatically. She blinked a couple more times, then shook her head.
No, that's not right. It must have been a dream.
I finished for her, and she froze, mirroring my own look of concern. I thought for a moment, scrambling for stray thoughts. My ears perked up.
A landmine. Do you remember a landmine?
Her hoof moved to her neck, her eyes widening for a moment, but she quickly shook her head.
No. I remember a dream, but... No, where would we have ever ran into a landmine? But you remember it too?
Her ears pinned back, and she looked around.
Oh, shit. Are we dreaming?
She looked back to me.
Wait, if I'm dreaming, are you even real? We're not dreaming.
I said, pushing myself up to a more upright position.
But something isn't right. Something's messing with our heads. Oh, Luna.
Starlight murmured, her hoof moving to her head.
Am I going insane? What's going on? I don't know, but we need to figure it out.
I sat up, reaching out to grip Starlight by the shoulders.
What do you remember? How did we get here? Emerald's pet book.
She answered. Then her ears drooped.
Oh no. Emerald? Did she really?
I swallowed around the lump that tried to form in my throat. My brain was telling me that what I remembered couldn't be true. That I could have never witnessed another pony dying like that. But it was clear I couldn't trust my own memories. My own mind was working against me. That was a problem. I knew how good I was at telling a lie. I shook off the thought.
And why did we come to Serenity? Because it's such a nice place. Starlight said, shuddering. And you thought you might find...
She She froze again, her eyes widening.
Your family.
Her shoulders heaved as her breathing accelerated.
Changelings.
I nodded. Yeah, that sounded familiar.
Changelings.
Starlight murmured.
Changelings make themselves look like something they're not.
She looked around the room.
Oh, Luna, God, is any of this...
She jumped and yelped loudly at the knock on her door. As she clamped her hooves over her mouth, a smooth-spoken stallion's voice called from outside.
Miss Starlight, are you okay?
She lowered her hooves to shout back.
I'm fine.
Can we come in?
Starlight scrambled to the window, peering out.
Just a second.
She leaned in close to me, quickly whispering.
It's the welcoming committee again. I don't know why they're back. Are they changelings too?
I looked around, quickly trying to form a plan. I could practically feel my grip on the situation slipping as my mind told me everything was fine.
I'm going to hide. Let them in, say what they want. Just don't tell them I'm here.
She trembled, staring at me as if she'd feared she'd never see me again.
Why?
Giving my best reassuring smile, I reached up, holding her by the shoulders once more.
Sneaky bug stuff.
The look of fear cracked as she gave a timid smile, and she nodded. She waited until I had slipped up the stairs and out of sight before opening the door.
Hello.
She sounded nervous.
I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon.
The stallion answered her. We heard you shout. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. The knock just kind of surprised me, is all.
Is something wrong? The stallion asked. I could faintly hear the sound of hooves as he stepped inside. You know we're here to help you. Why don't you just tell us what's bothering you, and we can help out?
Oh, yeah.
The nervousness had vanished from Starlight's voice.
Sorry, I was just feeling a little freaked out.
Amara's voice spoke up.
Why don't you tell us what's bothering you? I'm sure we'll be able to help. I'm not really sure how to describe it.
Starlight said.
It's like I'm remembering things, but they don't make sense. Like guns, and fighting, and ruins. And there were explosions, and a landmine. And I remember Whisper was there.
I winced at my name, fearing what she might say next.
And it all feels like a dream, but I know it wasn't. It was too real. But how could it be real? It doesn't...
It's okay, the stallion said, cutting her off. You must be remembering your term in the army. That's what it is.
I was in the army?
For a very short while, yes. You were just given a medical discharge. It was nothing serious, but I guess you got knocked around a bit if you're having trouble remembering. It'll clear up on its own in a few days, but you might want to pay a visit to the clinic. A little medical magic will help speed up your recovery. There was a moment of silence, followed by a faint chuckle.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Sorry about that.
No need to apologize, the stallion replied. Stress can have a tremendous impact on a pony, and especially our soldiers. But it's something we've become quite adept at diagnosing and treating. A couple days of confusion is completely normal. You can ask your neighbors. Several of them came from similar backgrounds, and they've gone through the same thing you have.
That's a bit of a relief, yeah.
Starlight said.
It's still, just a little freaky, not remembering stuff like that, but yeah, it's kind of coming back. Sorry, I feel a little silly now, freaking out like that.
Please, don't worry about it. We're here to help you. Was there anything else bothering you?
No, that was it. Thank you. I think I'll head down to the clinic in a bit. Seriously, thank you.
The mayor answered, sounding pleased.
That's what we're here for.
They said their goodbyes, and moments later, the door shut again. I crept down the stairs until I could see Starlight giving a slow, deep sigh. She turned and smiled as I made my way down.
Are you okay?
I asked, and she grinned.
Yeah, sorry about that. You know, you should have stayed. Ponies are gonna think you're weird if you keep hiding anytime some pony comes by.
She stepped in, nuzzling under my chin, but I leaned back.
I'd say we have more important things to worry about. We need to figure out what's messing with our heads. And I'm pretty sure those ponies are in on it. Don't worry about it.
Starlight said with a chuckle.
Those two are with a welcoming committee. They were just here to help. And the whole head thing was just stress messing with us.
I froze, as she gave back the story those ponies had fed her. And she slipped in again, nuzzling.
Starlight, this isn't stress. Those memories, they're real, but they don't fit with everything else. Something is messing with our heads. It's just the stress.
Starlight repeated, and chuckled.
I can't believe I've forgotten we were in the army, but that explains where all that shooting and explosions came from. It's all coming back now.
She drew back, looking me in the eyes with a look of sudden realization.
That's where we met, wasn't it?
I stared at her, heart hammering. The army made so much sense. I could remember fighting alongside her. Dusty and Strawberry were there too. Were they in uniform? Yes, Dusty was, but I couldn't remember if the others were. Why else would we be fighting? The idea of serving, of following a mission, that sounded completely right. The army was the only way that made sense. With a shudder, I pushed away the thoughts. I already knew someone was messing with my head. I couldn't trust my own memories. I couldn't trust my own mind. To say that was a problem is quite the understatement. The mind is an infiltrator's best weapon. An infiltrator. I wasn't a soldier. I was never in the army. I did not serve Equestria. All of this was a lie. I took a moment to evaluate my situation, to weigh my options. It was clear that something was messing with my mind. I seemed to be forcing past it, though it was still a muddled mess. Maybe if I was lucky, I might be able to help Starlight get through it. But she seemed far too quick to latch onto those ponies' story. It would have been difficult. I had no idea if Dusty or Strawberry could be brought around, though from the behavior I'd seen earlier, I doubted Strawberry would take much convincing. But what then? It wasn't just enough to know the truth. If they were messing with our minds, we were vulnerable. I had no idea what kind of troubles we might face outside of this lie. I was certain this place was a lie, but I had no idea how far that lie extended. I had no idea what to expect, and therefore no ability to plan for it. Our captors, if that's even what's going on, had every advantage. We couldn't fight this. And if I couldn't fight it, the only way to get through was to go along with it. So whatever they're doing, it seems more than just a machine that's doing all this work. But I have a feeling the next time we see Sickle, she is still not gonna fall for it. Anywho, let's get on to our clever donators. Top donators are 630, BadassWaffle, Onlyonething, Ceru, Orion, and IronSky. Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel, Skies, Lost and Rolan, Stu, Hex, Sword, Brother, Mordred, Omicron, Lyrae, RuneSlave 9852, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Riot, Soul Shadow, Moon, Luigi 88, Chance Request, Big Smoke 369, Jesse Smith, Popcat, GJF, and many more amazing people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.